Good morning and welcome to another Gribley's Folly Sunday antisocial hour where I smoke my pipe and complain about humanity while also answering its questions. And if you have a question for the Gribs, leave it in the comments down below with the hashtag AskGribs and I will answer any question, personal questions, big questions, small questions, obscure questions, even questions from Typing Piper get answered here on the Gribley's Folly Sunday Antisocial Hour, and I will be right back after this fish. Today, I am smoking a mixture of some dark fired tobaccos with a little bit of Virginia from Solani. Same thing I was smoking last week. Working through this last little bit of all these tobaccos before I open anything else. Smoking it in my Moulin Rouge Renoir. I'm going to hold that really close so you can see the grain. And I have to take a drink because of that. Hang on. I like this pipe. It's a good smoker. But I don't really have a super refined palate. Okay, so I am playing the cherry on top drinking game, the YTPC bingo drinking game. And I challenge all of you out there. I think we need to do, give me just a second. Okay, so Cherry on Top has come up with this drinking game where you watch a bunch of YTPC videos, right? And every time one of us does, you know, one of our things, like holding the pipe too close for the camera to focus on, or saying it's a good smoker or something, you know, the typical YTPC stuff, you have to take a drink. So here's my challenge. And I'm not going to challenge all of you. I'm going to go for the heavy hitters here. Derek Tant, I challenge you, sir. Here's what we do. We get a third party, we get someone to volunteer to put together a compilation, maybe an hour's compilation of random YTPC videos, maybe not random, whatever, it just can't be us choosing the videos. And we both do a live stream at the same time playing the drinking game. And the winner, how will we determine the winner? The one who doesn't have to go get his stomach pumped. The winner is right about Pop-Tarts versus toaster strudels. Game on, Mr. Tant. I'm serious in my challenge, and anybody else out there that wants, I mean, it has to be on like a Friday night, right? And I can't have a shoot the next day. and Cherry on Top says we have to drink beer. I don't think so. I think we need to drink whiskey. I mean, you can't challenge like a recovering alcoholic with this. You know, so I guess they're excluded or we just forfeit to them. Well, I don't know how that would work. Anyway, this is the last of my Maker's Mark 42, 46. It's not bad for an 11 a.m. drink. So, if you're just tuning in, I have a year-long project going on over on my Instagram page, at Gribley's Folly. Those are photos I'm posting from the woods. I'm a little bit drunk. I'm posting photos from the woods and talking about my experience leaving society to go into the woods. And man, we're going to talk about that a little bit today. To go into the woods these last few years, and what an experience it's been. If you like photos, go over to Instagram / at Gribley's Folly, or just find Gribley's Folly on Instagram, and you'll see some awesome photos. One every day, a new photo every day. Next up, things I have to announce. Is anybody interested in this pipe? I have this pipe. It's never been smoked. Peterson Christmas Pipe 2014, and it is a rustic wine. I'm not sure what the shape is. It says 03, but I don't think that's a Peterson shape. I don't know. I don't know enough about Peterson pipes. This is unsmoked. It was a gift. I'm going to sell it on eBay, but then I thought, you know, I might know someone that has been looking for a 2014 Christmas pipe. It is collector's blah, blah, you know, blah. And it comes in the Peterson blah. Comes in the bag. And I like the pipe a lot, but it's the finish is a little rosy for me. I don't know. That's actually pretty nice. Maybe I'll keep this pipe. It's pretty nice. What does it say on here? Well, it's got 2014 on the little thing, and then it's got some holly leaves on that thing. If I hold it too close, do I have to drink again? I don't think I can drink anymore. Yeah, I guess it is an 03. You see right there. I mean, if you're interested in this pipe, let me know. I don't even know what a fair price is but it needs to go to someone who will enjoy it. I'm not a big fan of the plumbing in there. I don't know though. It's a pretty nice pipe. I won't put it in my mouth because that would be gross if I'm trying to sell it to you. All right, let's get to the complaining, shall we? From the Associated Press, Virginia governor signs ban on people under 21 buying tobacco. Dateline, Richmond. Virginia Governor Ralph Northam. Seems like I've heard his name recently. Was he in the news for something? Anyway, Ralph Northam has signed legislation banning people under 21 from buying tobacco and nicotine products, a measure enacted in a state known historically for its tobacco production. The Richmond Times-Dispatch reports the bill, signed Thursday, received bipartisan support, as well as backing from Altria, the nation's largest tobacco company. The law's restrictions apply to cigarettes and liquid nicotine used in vaping devices and exempts active duty military personnel. It curtails the sale of tobacco and nicotine products from vending machines considered accessible to people under 21. Can we just stop with this shit? Why is it so hard to let adults make their own decisions? Why do we have such a problem with that? So I'm not, I guess this is now bad news for people who are in the 18 to 21 bracket, right? Because a minute ago, it was totally legal for them to enjoy tobacco or get addicted to tobacco and die, whatever. I mean, if you're one of those people that thinks tobacco is a sin in and of itself, fine. But, it was their decision a minute ago. Now it is not. I don't have a dog in that fight, right? I am 37, which means I have more than twice the performance and vitality of an 18-year-old. But just from a standpoint of like, good Lord, really? I mean, I appreciate that it exempts active duty military personnel. My grandfather, who was a Marine, fought in World War II, always said the drinking age being 21 was the stupidest thing ever because you would trust a kid with a rifle before you trust him with a beer. And so at least they're making that distinction, but we're trusting them with a vote before we're trusting them with a cigarette. I don't know. Is that how we ended up in the situation that we're in today? Maybe we should have been like, hey, y'all, you guys don't enjoy premium tobacco. Maybe you just shouldn't vote. And once again, I am reminded of what a small niche we are as pipe smokers and what a misunderstood niche, because this is, this doesn't even mention cigars and pipes. We're maybe they're not even part of the bill. But laws restrictions apply to cigarettes and liquid nicotine. So basically, like white trash vaping stuff. Sorry, but for people like us that enjoy a quality product and enjoy it responsibly, I dare say, I really think I would much rather have an 18-year-old, even the craziest, stupidest 18-year-olds I've ever known, smoke a pipe than vote or drive or enter into binding contracts. Like, I think, if you're going to have an age of majority, that age of majority should apply across the board. Why is it you're adult enough to do all these other things? You can own a home, you can start a business, but you can't smoke a cigarette. What is wrong with our society? And every time I hear people make this argument, I'm always like, yeah, but the optics of the argument are terrible because you're sounding like you're advocating for young people smoking. And it's true. And I'm not advocating for that. And frankly, I don't really like, yes, I saw it. I saw the news. I paid attention to it because it's about tobacco and I'm a tobacco smoker. But this is an issue of we can't manage the real problems. We can't manage the hostile foreign takeover of our executive branch. We can't manage the $22 trillion national debt. We can't manage this. We can't manage that. But we can, by God, manage some freaking 19-year-old out there that wants to buy a vape pen from the head shop. In my state, I can go down to the freaking drive-through like smoke shop, right? And I can buy a dick-shaped bong through the drive-through window if I'm 18 years old, right? But if you're in Virginia, you have to drive all the way down here to my town to buy your dick bong from the drive-through because you're in a hurry for your dick bong. You're too morbidly obese to walk into the vape shop to buy the dick bong. You got to do it like through the... All right. While we're talking about teenagers, Typing Piper asked the following question: whatever happened to Holden Caulfield? I don't know, and I don't care because I hated that book. I'm sorry. I know I just lost like half of my subscribers, but Catcher in the Rye is a meandering, wandering, rambling book that doesn't really mean anything. And so the intelligentsia of the time thought it meant everything. It's just, every time I've read it, and I've read it several times, I get to like halfway through the book and I'm like, wait, what the hell is going on? Why do I care about this kid? What is actually happening here? Like, this is just a kid kind of moving around the world, being an angsty teenager, right? And I think he smokes. This is like a freaking Confederate monument on the town square. We should ban Holden Caulfield from the popular culture because he's a smoking teenager. Because that's how laws work, right? You can't smoke till you're 18. And that's why I've never known anyone under 18 that's ever smoked a cigarette. Because that's against the law, right? And now it'll be 21 in Virginia. I don't know what happened to Holden Caulfield, Typing Piper. I'm sorry that I have revealed. I wouldn't see. It's the drinking. It's a good thing I'm 21 because this was legal, right? And now I can have poor judgment on my Sunday antisocial and alienate everybody who loves Holden Caulfield. Typing Piper, I'm sorry if you love Holden Caulfield. I probably should have tried to get more Pop-Tarts out of you before revealing my bias. However, I Googled it because I was curious. Because I couldn't even remember how the book ends. I've read it several times. It made such a little impression on me that I didn't remember. I remembered him like taking his kid's sister to the museum or something. Like, that was it. That was how the book ended. And so Esquire.com says that apparently in 1945, October 45, Salinger published a short story in Esquire called This Sandwich Has No Mayonnaise, which focuses on an Army sergeant named Vincent Caulfield sitting on a troop truck in the rain in Georgia, awaiting travel to an off-base dance as he worries about his younger brother. And here's a quote from the book: "Where's my brother? Where's my brother Holden? What is this missing in action stuff? I don't believe it. I don't understand it. I don't believe it." This is sounding very much like someone related to Holden Caulfield. "The United States government is a liar. The government is lying to me and my family." Yes, Vincent, you're right. They are. But I bet this story sucks too. So there we have it. The wayward teenager somehow got drafted or signed up for military service or whatever and got killed in the war. Kind of a sad ending to that story. Typing Piper asked Gribbs, was the Sunday antisocial designed to replace Sunday Morning on CBS? Yes, absolutely. Which was that? Was that Katie Couric or that Murphy Brown? I can't remember who that was, but yeah, absolutely. You don't need to watch CBS when I'm here every Sunday without fail to bring you the truth. Typing Piper also asked Gribbs, I was told Jim Beam Black. I have regrets. Mistakes were made. I was told Jim Beam Black was made so that white trash would feel better about drinking bad whiskey. Is this true? No. No, it is not, because white trash do not feel bad about drinking bad whiskey. That's why they're white trash. People like me, I feel bad about drinking bad whiskey because I'm poor, but I have the self-awareness to understand it, So that's why I'm not white trash, says the guy making a video for the internet in his garage. I won't really defend my choice of Jim Beam Black to add to that list in the last video. However, I will say that, maybe if you don't drink the Jim Beam Black, you could use it to clean out your dick bong. Typing Piper asked Gribbs, is it my imagination or was Gribbly #MeToo over whiskey? Are social justice warriors infiltrating the YTPC, and will this ruin Gribbs' channel? Yes. Yes. Derek Tant is a raging feminist. I don't know why it's taken everyone so long to realize. He's basically Anita Sarkeesian. But Gamergate, go after Derek Tant. I got a lot of really interesting comments on my video about the media, and one of them was from Robert Dixon, who asked Gribbs, Are you saying that CNN anchors are... Are you saying that CNN anchors are not largely venomous individuals ranging from overweight through obese? I'm going to re-record that because I flubbed so many lines. Just kidding, I'm too lazy. I don't think there are that many obese CNN anchors, right? Like, let's check this out. CNN anchors. I mean, far be it for anyone in the YTPC to fat shame someone at CNN. I'm fine journalists shaming them, but I don't really even see, like, I'm looking at their headshots. Well, they're really like, you know, three-quarter or, you know, head and shoulder shots. And I mean, they all seem to be pretty trim and fit. Wait, Sarah Westwood just has a blank background there. I have no idea who these people are. Gloria Borger. I only know who she is because PewDiePie talks about her. Athena Jones. I mean, they all seem to be fairly slim, reasonably attractive people. I think I'm more obese than all of these people, pretty much. So I don't quite, yes, I guess I'm saying that. They might be venomous, but they're not obese. Another journalism question, Typing Piper says, has Spider-Man become unemployed because of the downfall of print media? The Punisher was canceled on Netflix. Why does God hate me? God does not hate you, Typing Piper. God loves all of his children, even those that are fans of Spider-Man. What? Come on. Like, Spider-Man was like he was like on the crumpled up sticky note from the brainstorming session where they came up with Batman, right? It's like, you know, somebody dug through the trash and was like, Spider-Man, be a good idea. And finally, Typing Piper asks, I think this is our final Typing Piper question. It's not the final question about the media video. My local newspaper didn't understand that the Federal Reserve is not part of the federal government. Should I be concerned? Yes, but if you're really, really concerned, you can just order some Canadian Xanax through Federal Express. Fireplug 1701D, isn't it? 1710? Do you change it? You change it just to mess with me, don't you? Like every week or so, you change it from 1701 to 1710. Anyway, Fireplug asks, do you think televising the Vietnam War was the start of the media downfall? No, I don't. I think actually televising the Vietnam War was a very wise thing to do, and it brought the realities of war into the living rooms of the American people in a way nothing had before. Not to say that there weren't amazing journalists working as war correspondents before that. I mean, in fact, my favorite journalists, people like Robert Capa, worked before television. But I think that it opened a lot of people's eyes to the horrors of war. And that was one reason there was so much political backlash to the war in Vietnam, which then put pressure on Johnson and got Nixon elected. And we all know how that turned out, right? But the way that turned out was as a total boon for the media, because Nixon was, he was a freaking gold mine for the media. So basically, the TV coverage of Vietnam was the media planning ahead for Watergate. The more I've thought about it since making that video, I think that there are people working in the media who are truly dedicated to their job and are still doing good work. But I think that the point that I maybe didn't make very well is that they are overwhelmed with the deluge of crap, of total crap. I mean, look at what has happened. So yesterday I woke up, this was Thursday night, it started looking like the Mueller report was going to come out next week, and everybody got in a tizzy about it on Reddit and in the media. CNN ran us, well, we're back to CNN. Those obese bastards at CNN ran a story that said that there were signs that pointed to the special counsel wrapping up his report next week. And so I said, you know, Friday is going to be an interesting news day because Trump will want to get out ahead of that. He'll want to have something to talk about as opposed to talking about Mueller report. And it was an interesting news day, but not in the way that I thought it would be, because we got the Jussie Smollett thing, Smollett, I don't know how you say his name because I've only ever read it on the Drudge Report. Drudge was all over that shit for like 10 days. That doesn't matter. It's some act. I mean, it matters a little bit. The guy should get what's coming to him for staging a false attack. But it's really not that important. Then you got R. Kelly happened on Friday. 10 counts. Everybody knew this guy is a creep. I knew he was a creep when I was a teenager in the 90s. And if like a white kid from the mountains of North Carolina knew that R. Kelly was a creep, everybody knew R. Kelly was a creep, right? So you got that, and then the whole thing with the Patriots owner and the prostitute ring. Like, meanwhile, the situation in Venezuela is going hot, but nobody knows about that because we're all worried about these personalities and their scandals. This antisocial is turning into a real rant. Bumbling Piper has a question. We'll make you wait for it. There we go. When do the bears come back out? That is a good question. Last year, I saw a bear in the middle of February. And, like in the middle, like Valentine's Day. And I believe I have already found one bear track. Now, that doesn't mean they're like out, but I think they're moving around when things warm up. Right now, it's about 48 degrees and raining, as it has been for several days. I would imagine bears are starting to wake up. That's pretty warm for a bear. And we had, a couple of days of beautiful weather so long ago, I can't remember when it was. I wouldn't be overly surprised to see a bear. Now, not many bears, and I'm not seeing any bear poop yet. When the bears are really happening up in the woods, there's bear poop everywhere. So I think if they are coming out, it's they're making some forays, but they're not really that active. Over a pipe, asked Gribbs, how do you like W.L. Weller? It's a wheat bourbon. Though it has gone up in price, it is not easy to find. It is delicious and can't be beat for the price. Your thoughts? I have never tried it because I live in North Carolina. And while it is legal for me to buy tobacco products if I'm 18 years old, all of our, when you mix several different flake tobaccos together, sometimes you get a flake up the old stem into the old back of the mouth, then you try to make a video and talk around it for several minutes, but then it always gets to you. All right. North Carolina, we have an ABC system, Alcoholic Beverage Control, which means that any alcohol that is available in the state, other than beer or wine, any real alcohol must be approved by a bureaucratic body for sale within the state. So our selection is crap here. And I was just having this conversation with Derek Tant about how there are many bourbons that I cannot get in North Carolina, and that may influence my my bourbon opinions. Actually, I'm back to making excuses for why I named Jim Beam Black as a good bourbon. Walter Kiran says, Max, I work on a dairy farm. Milk is pumped through sanitized lines and runs through a centrifuge to remove any impurities, and then it is pasteurized before you consume. I'm not saying milk isn't safe, right? He's responding to a comment I made, which is that I don't drink a lot of milk after I once had a shoot on a dairy farm, and the amount of cow shit mixed with milk on the floor is something that I can't really get out of my head. And I know it's safe. I know it's pasteurized. I feed my kid milk, but it's just one of those things where once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. And I know that the milk that was coming out of the cow parts and in the cow part suckers and the hoses and all that was not in contact with the milk that was on the floor. I get that, but I just can't. I just can't do it. Grant Renard asks Gribbs, what do you think of people's fascinations with 23andMe and other such group spitting contests? Now, he's referring to genealogy services, websites, and the like, where you can spit into a tube and they analyze your DNA and tell you where you are from and who you're related to. I think these things are incredibly dangerous. I have done it. I have done the Ancestry.com DNA profile. No surprises. No surprises. But I know a lot of people that have had surprises. And I think that, a certain amount of subterfuge, of deception in life can cover up some pain, can prevent some pain. And it is possible for people to think things about their family that just aren't true, and maybe those people shouldn't learn those things. People that get surprised by that stuff, like, oh, and your parents are still alive, and you're not the child you thought you were, and that sort of thing. I think that what gets me about it is, like, if you could find out where you're from like 100 years and back, but like now when you give your results to, like, they can tell you what, like, how you're related to your immediate family members. And so there's stories of people finding out that their parents were not faithful and they're the child of an affair. But also it raises the issues of, the Golden State Killer was caught using one of these DNA services. And while I'm really, really glad the guy got caught, it does open up a whole new level of, I won't say the invasion of privacy, but the lack of expectation of privacy. Like, if your DNA can be put on the web, and by the way, it doesn't have to be you that does it. For example, the people that caught the Golden State Killer had his DNA. But obviously they didn't, the law enforcement, they didn't want to go on 23andMe or Ancestry or whatever. I can't remember. I think it was a different service, but I can't remember which one it was. They don't want to go on there and say, like, here's the Golden State Killer's DNA. They made a fake profile. They put the DNA up belonging to that profile, pretending to be some dude researching his genealogy, found the Golden State Killer's cousin, found a match that was like, this person is within however many removals away. And that's how they found the Golden State Killer. And so, again, I'm glad they found the guy, but at the same time, that's a lot of information to just be out there. And it's a lot of information that is hard, cold truth. It's not really something you argue with, DNA results. You have a high level of certainty, and it's information that 10 years ago we didn't know about ourselves. So I think anytime you open a box like that, a Pandora's box, it's kind of cool to know. But like when I did it, okay, now I know I'm super white. Not really a big surprise. I haven't benefited that much. And if there had been a big surprise, that would have been a huge shock. So risk versus reward, I don't know. Robert Dixon asks Gribbs, would Gribbs in a Hamburg Godfather hat and black shirt be profound for some Sunday antisocial viewers, particularly on delicate matters of pipe etiquette? I don't really think that there are delicate matters of pipe etiquette. I think you smoke your pipe the way you want to. I guess there's the etiquette of, like, don't smoke your pipe in a revolving door with a field trip from the preschool, maybe. But, like, other than that, I don't know. Are we generating our own egos when we say that there are minute matters of pipe etiquette? Maybe. I will never wear one of these. Basically, it's a fedora with it's a very stylish fedora with a narrower brim, typically with a feather. I will never wear one of these because hipsters wear those. And I have taken enough heat for my hats over the years. I don't need to take any more heat. I wear my fedoras, my Indiana Jones style fedoras, because Indiana Jones wore them, and that's all the reason I need. Every once in a while, a question comes along, and I know I should research it. I know I should find the right answer, but I think it's more revealing just to answer it off the cuff. And I guess that's what I guess I want to be revealing here. Derek Tant asks Gribbs, let's say you and your wife have won a trip to Vegas for a few nights at the strip hotel of your choice with hotel food, shows, and drinks paid for. Where do you choose to stay? Where would you want to eat? And what shows would you want to watch? Thank you for the question, Derek Tant. I could not name, I can name one hotel in Vegas. I can name one hotel. I could not name a place to eat or a show. So, I mean, I guess I could say I want to stay at the Plaza, at the the Hill. I could make something up. I could actually research it and like come up with some answers. But the truth is, I dispute the premise of your question because I wouldn't want to go to Vegas with my wife. And not for the reasons you're thinking, but because Vegas to me is a place not conducive to domestic bliss, right? I think that Vegas, you go to Vegas to look at all the scantily clad women, drink too much, and gamble your money away. And my wife would be there the whole time, like, there's our kids, like, college, what are you doing with the college fund? And I'd be like, oh, baby, we're in Vegas. It's cool. It's cool. When you leave Vegas, they give you all your money back, right? If I were going to go to Vegas, I would really, really want to have an allowance, have a budget, and not have to worry about how I spent it. And I think that whether you're there with your husband or your wife or your whatever, your life partner, your spouse, your dog, I don't know, anybody that can look at you and give you that look of like, you're spending my next vet bill here, buddy. I considered going to Vegas when my buddy started flying an airplane. He started had a private pilot thing going on for a while, and we considered going to Vegas like as a group of friends, and then we all decided that we were too scared to fly with our buddy. I guess that's beside the point. So to tackle your actual question, this is also revealing. And it might be too soon. It might be too soon, but the place that I would want to see would be Mandalay Bay. Not out of like, I mean, I guess out of morbid curiosity. See, again, if you go to Dallas, well, everyone wants to go see the book depository, right? Because it's been however many years, and we can say, oh, I want to see this place where history happened. But it's a little soon for the Mandalay Bay massacre, right? So I would like to see it. I would like to see with my own eyes the place where that happened. It's a horrific, horrific thing, and I think it would be a very somber thing to see. But that's the only thing that really attracts me to Vegas. I don't like gambling for large sums of money. It's only happened once or twice that I gambled for more money than I can afford. And I don't like shows that much, especially live shows. I think people performing need to be recorded. I don't like it live. There's too much uncertainty. I'm not a big fan of strip clubs. I went to a few in my youth, and they didn't do it for me. Didn't do it for me. And honestly, fancy hotels don't do it for me either. So I think that your question would be best asked of someone who knows how to have fun. And I can't check. We drove through Atlantic City one time when I was a kid, and we were looking at all the casinos, and I was, I was 7 or something, and I was impressed. And my dad said, "Son, they don't get that big because of the winners." And I had no idea what he meant at the time. My dad was always saying stuff that I didn't know what it meant. But now looking back on it, I couldn't let that go to go into a casino and have fun. However, while I've got you all here, I've heard this strategy that if you're going to go to a casino and you're going to say you're going to spend 5 hours gambling, that the best strategy is to divide your money up by the hour. So you got $500, you're going to gamble $100 an hour. And whatever the result of that hour, when the hour is over, you put it aside. You leave it alone. So if you start with $100 and you win 5,000, at the end of that hour, you put that $5,000 away, and you take out another 100 and you gamble with that. If you lose it, well, you don't play again until the next hour, and that way you sort of titrate your fun and your risk taking. You can't lose more than your budget. And your budget will last you a certain amount of time, and you look at it as entertainment, and then any profit is yours to keep. But again, casinos are a tax on people who can't do math. So that's all the buzz killing I've got in me today. Thank you for watching. Don't know why you do, because it basically just said humanity sucks and it's not even fun to party. That's basically been the point of this video. Go check me out on Instagram, where you can see a real hermit taking pictures of trees and rocks and shit. And check out Cherry on Top's drinking game. That I think really has potential, guys. We should really support that and get involved. Maybe we could have a yearly tournament. Who can still light a pipe after watching an hour of YTPC videos and doing the drinking game? I like it. I think that this is really good. All right. See you next week, if not sooner. Keep the ends out for the ties that bind.